You walked out of the house this morning feeling put together, and somewhere between your front door and the first mirror you passed, something shifted. The face looking back at you looked heavier than you felt. The jaw looked softer. The neck looked shorter, and the outfit you chose was perfectly fine. That is not your face failing you. That is your neckline. Here is what nobody explains. Every neckline you own either works with your face or works against it. There is no neutral. The right one lifts everything above it. The wrong one collapses it. And once you understand exactly why, you will never reach for the wrong one again. In the next few minutes, I am going to show you the 7 necklines that actively lift the face and lengthen the neck after 60, and then the 3 that are working against you every single day, one of which appears on every mainstream style list for women over 50, is recommended constantly by stylists, and is probably hanging in your closet right now. Before we start, answer this in the comments right now. Do you have a crew neck in your closet? Yes or no? By the end of this video, you will know exactly what to do with it. And if you have never had anyone break down what actually works for women over 60, not the safe generic advice, but the real reasons behind what flatters and what doesn't, subscribe now. That is what Stylish Beyond 60 does every single week. Let us start with the neckline that does the most work with the least effort. 1. The open 5. Most women are buying the wrong depth. Here is something nobody tells you about a V-neck. Most of the ones sold to women over 60 are the wrong depth, and a V-neck at the wrong depth is almost as damaging as no 5 at all. A V-neck only works when it drops at least 3 to 4 inches below the collarbone. That depth is not about showing skin. It is about creating a vertical line long enough that the eye follows it downward, instead of reading across the jaw and throat. A shallow V that barely dips below the collarbone creates a line so short it reads as horizontal, and horizontal lines at the throat do exactly what you do not want. After 60, the jaw naturally loses some of its sharp definition. Anything that pulls the eye sideways across that area emphasizes the softening. Anything that pulls the eye downward minimizes it. A deep V is a downward line. It moves the gaze away from everything you want to draw attention away from, automatically, every time someone looks at you. Here is the habit that cancels this, and it is not the one you are expecting. The mistake is not layering a camisole under a V-neck. The mistake is buying a V-neck in a fabric too soft to hold its shape through the day. When the fabric is too lightweight or too drapey, the point of the V migrates off-center or droops closed under its own weight. The vertical line you paid for disappears. The fix, a structured jersey, a lightweight woven, or a medium-weight knit. If the 5 does not hold its point by the time you leave the house, it is working against you. 2. The square neck, the dual-action neckline your stylist skips. A square neckline does something no other neckline does. It delivers 2 separate optical corrections at the same time. The straight horizontal edge adds breadth across the collarbone and chest, restoring the visual width that the upper frame loses with age. But the corners of the square pull the eye downward on both sides simultaneously, creating a secondary vertical movement. You get shoulder breadth and face elongation in one neckline. No other cut on this list does both at once. There is a third thing a square neckline does, and it is the reason this cut photographs so well. A clean right-angle edge near the chin communicates structure. The clothing does the visual work the jawline used to do. That is exactly the function a neckline should be serving. The mistake that kills it: buying a square neckline in a drapey, soft fabric. A square neckline cut in jersey loses its corners by mid-morning. The corners are the whole point. It needs a medium-weight woven or a structured knit to hold the geometry in place. A square neckline that has lost its shape is just a wide scoop. Hold the corners, or the neckline is not working. 3. The off-shoulder scoop. Everything you were told about this is wrong. Stop. Before you decide this one is not for you. 30 seconds. Because what I am about to say directly contradicts almost everything you have been told about dressing after 60. The off-shoulder neckline is not a young woman's neckline. It is one of the most effective tools for visual neck elongation, available to any woman at any age, and it works better after 60 than it does at 30. An off-shoulder neckline that skims the top of the upper arm exposes the full collarbone and the entire upper chest. That uninterrupted stretch of skin between your jawline and your neckline is what creates the illusion of length. The more of it that is visible, the longer the neck appears, the more refined the face reads, and the more lifted everything above it looks. Your collarbone is one of the most naturally flattering features of the female frame at any age. After 60, it is still there. It still works. Covering it completely, every single day, in every outfit, is not dressing appropriately for your age. It is leaving one of the best tools you have sitting unused. The one thing that makes this fail has nothing to do with age and everything to do with fit. An off-shoulder top that slides down the arm throughout the day makes you look like you are fighting your clothes. And when you look like you are fighting your clothes, you look uncomfortable, which undermines every other thing you did right that morning. Look for an internal elastic band or a structured fabric that holds the line exactly where you put it. When it stays, it is one of the most polished necklines in this video. For the wide boat neck, the rule that reverses AT60. Every style rule ever written tells women to avoid wide horizontal necklines because they add visual width. That rule is correct for women in their 30s. After 60, it reverses. And the reason why will change which tops you reach for first. With age, the shoulders narrow visually. The upper frame loses width. When the frame narrows, the face proportionally looks larger inside it. A wide boat neck that stretches from shoulder point to shoulder point restores that frame. It broadens the visual silhouette across the top. And when the top frame is wider, the face inside it reads as smaller, more delicate, more refined. Think of it this way. A face in a wide frame looks composed. A face in a narrow frame looks crowded. Same face, same features, same makeup, completely different reading. We're going to come back to the crew neck in a few minutes. And what I'm going to tell you about it will change what you do with your wardrobe this week. The habit that cancels the boat neck. Buying one that sits above the collarbone instead of skimming the top of it. A boat neck that rises toward the throat gives you the width without the reveal. The collarbone needs to be visible, or the neckline is not delivering its full effect. Collarbone in, throat covered. That is the boat neck that works. 5. The surplice wrap. The neckline that adjusts to you. Think about the last time you tried on a wrap dress and felt immediately better in it than you expected. That reaction was not random, and it was not the cut of the dress. It was the neckline. A surplice neckline is formed when two sides of a top or dress cross diagonally over each other at the chest. That diagonal line moves the eye across the body at an angle rather than straight across, inherently more flattering than any horizontal line. The cross creates depth. The folded layers give the chest visual dimension, and down the center a natural V forms, delivering the same vertical elongation as the open V from section 1. 3 benefits from one construction. The surplice is the only neckline on this list you can adjust to your mood that morning. More coverage when you want it, more elongation when you want it. That flexibility matters more than most women realize. What kills it immediately? Pulling the fabric so tightly across the chest that the diagonal goes taut and flat. A strained wrap loses its diagonal, and what remains is a stressed horizontal line, the precise opposite of why the wrap works. If you are re-pinning throughout the day, the garment does not fit your frame. But when the wrap lies naturally and holds without effort, the diagonal does its work all day without you thinking about it once. If your wardrobe is making more sense right now, subscribe, because next week we are doing sleeve lengths, and there is one cut that almost every woman over 60 avoids because she was told it makes her arms look worse. We are going to prove that wrong, the same way we just proved the off-shoulder wrong. You do not want to miss it. 6. The portrait collar. The neckline that does your work for you. There is one neckline that most women only reach for on special occasions, and that is the single biggest mistake they make with it. The portrait collar is a wide, flat collar that lies open across the chest and shoulders. If you have ever seen a blazer with a wide, flat collar lying open like a horizontal frame across the shoulders rather than closing at the front, that is the shape. It exposes the collarbone and upper chest the way a boatneck does, but adds a layer of structural refinement around it. That frame draws the eye upward toward the face, while adding visual weight to the shoulders and chest where the body naturally loses fullness with age. Put it on, and the neckline does the rest. The mistake that cancels it, and this confusion is more common than it should be, is mixing up the portrait collar with the Peter Pan collar. A Peter Pan collar closes at the front, sits close to the throat, and stacks fabric detail directly under the chin. That is exactly where you do not want additional weight. The portrait collar lies open, lies flat, and lies wide across the shoulders. If the collar closes at the throat, put it back. 7. The keyhole. Maximum coverage. 0 compression. What if you could get the elongating effect of an open neckline without exposing any significant skin at all? That is exactly what the keyhole does, and almost nobody talks about it. A keyhole neckline is a closed neckline, often a crew or boat neck, with a small teardrop or oval cutout at the center of the chest. The surrounding neckline provides coverage. The keyhole itself draws the eye to one precise point below the chin, creating a vertical focal line without requiring any significant skin exposure. It is a V-neck for women who do not want a V-neck. The elongation is built in. The coverage is built in. Nothing has to be traded. The keyhole is also an architectural detail, and on the woman wearing it, that thoughtfulness transfers. You look like someone who chose deliberately, not someone who grabbed whatever was clean. One rule: no necklace with the keyhole. The keyhole is already a focal point. A necklace above it creates two competing centers of attention at the throat, and the eye does not know where to land. One focal point is elegant, 2 is noise. And in a moment, I am going to show you 3 necklines that create that same kind of visual noise, at the worst possible location on the body. Do not leave yet. The 3 necklines I am about to name are the most commonly worn necklines by women over 60. One of them has been on mainstream style lists for women over 50 for years. Stylists recommend it as a wardrobe essential. It is one of the worst things you can put near your face. Find out which one before you open your closet tomorrow morning. The 3 necklines to eliminate. One of these is probably what you are wearing right now. The first is the crew neck. A crew neck is a wall built directly under your face. That is not a metaphor. It is a description of exactly what a rounded neckline sitting 1 to 2 inches below the base of your throat is doing every time you wear it. It creates a horizontal line at the shortest possible distance between your chin and your first visual break. That short distance compresses the neck, adds visual weight to the jaw, and makes the face read as rounder and heavier than it actually is. The problem is structural, not stylistic. No amount of jewelry or color corrects it. If you love crew necks for warmth or coverage, wear them as a base layer under an open blazer or a jacket with lapels. The V created by the lapels restores the vertical line the crew neck removes, but as the visible neckline of your outfit. Look in the mirror the next time you wear one. Then remove it and put on anything from the first half of this video. The difference will answer the question better than I can. The second is the high mock neck or fitted turtleneck. When fabric sits at or above the chin line and covers the entire neck, the visible neck disappears. The face and body merge into a single column. After 60, when the transition between jaw and neck has naturally softened, covering the neck entirely frames that softening rather than minimizing it, the fabric ends exactly where the change begins. If you want the warmth, wear the turtleneck under an open blazer or long open front cardigan. The vertical opening gives the elongation back. The warmth stays. The compression disappears. The third is the throat ruffle, or high frill at the neckline. And this one is the most damaging of the 3 because of where the eye goes first. Picture a blouse with a ruffle, sitting directly at the base of the throat. Now picture where your attention lands. It goes straight to the ruffle, to the movement, the texture, the visual activity sitting directly beneath the jaw, adding bulk to the chin line and shortening the visible neck at the same time. A ruffle at a cuff is charming. A ruffle at the hem is elegant. A ruffle at the throat is shortening your neck and adding weight to your jaw with every single wear. Your collarbone is still there. After all the years and all the advice telling you to cover up and dress your age, it is still one of the most elegant features of your frame. And yet most mornings, women over 60 reach past the square neck, past the boat neck, past the off-shoulder top they bought but never wore, and put on a crew neck. Because it feels safe. Because nobody ever explained to them what it was actually doing. Every neckline either works with your face or against it. There is no neutral. The woman whose style always looks effortlessly lifted is not wearing anything more complicated than what is already in your wardrobe. She just stopped choosing the ones that work against her. Your neckline is the first frame your face sits in every single day. Make it work for you. Now back to your comment. You said yes or no to the crew neck. Tell me what you were doing with it after watching this. Keeping it for layering, donating it, or binning it entirely. I want to know. If this changed how you see your wardrobe, subscribe to Stylish Beyond 60%. Next week, we are dismantling another rule women over 60 were handed and never questioned. And it involves the one sleeve length most women avoid entirely because they were told it does not work for their arms. It does, and we are going to prove it. And if someone you love is wearing a crew neck to every occasion and wondering why the photos never look quite right, send them this video. Now they will know exactly why.